All right, welcome back. We're joined now by Fox NFL analyst Tony Gonzalez and Steelers legend James Harrison. All right, let's move to some big stories, starting with the Cowboys, where ESPN's Josina Anderson is reporting that the Cowboys are trading a first-round pick to Oakland for wide receiver Amari Cooper. The Cowboys receiving corps has struggled all year, so adding Cooper could provide a much-needed downfield threat. The fire sale continues in Oakland.
Yeah.
But I love this move for the Cowboys and for Dak Prescott and for Jerry Jones. These guys are all in. They feel like the NFC East is still out there to be had. I think this is a tremendous move. They've needed a number one receiver. Now they got one. No more excuses for Dak or that offense.
Yeah, I really like the move in terms of giving a guy the breath of fresh air. Amari Cooper, you know, 2 great seasons and 2 not so great seasons by his own standard that he set. It's going to be interesting, though, because now the pressure shall shift solely on Dak Prescott. If you watched the game yesterday, Tony Romo continuously pointed out how lazy Dak's eyes were in some of the routes and some of the reads, despite having one of his better games. Yeah, oh yeah. Right here, slant route, Cole Beasley.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. It was a few times, and I was like, Romo's in a tough position because how critical can you be of a guy for the franchise used to play for, et cetera. But all that said, he's going to be the best receiver they got. Now you put Cole Beasley in his proper spot as a number 2, offense can open up.
First of all, I look at it from both sides. First of all, everything that I've been saying about Gruden, this is part of it, okay? This is part of that routine that I think it's that New England Patriots. We're getting rid of all of our players. We're going to stack these first-round picks. We're going to hit Vegas with this new team. In about 2 or 3 years, you're going to see the Raiders at the top of the NFL league. That's what I believe. But going back to the Cowboys, what this does for them, yes, it adds that receiver. Remember Cole Beasley came out a couple weeks ago saying, hey, watch the tape. We're getting open. So it doesn't matter if you're getting open or not. Dak still has to hit you. And this is my thing about Dak Prescott. We need to recognize who this player really is. He's not that pocket passer. I think he is that guy. He is a poor man's version of Cam Newton, where he has to use his legs to win. You look at his stats. When he has more than 7 carries, they win. They win. He's undefeated. He's never lost. So great move, great receiver. I think it's still going to help the team no matter what. But at the same time, we have to accept who Dak is, and he has to shift his game to more like Cam Newton if this is going to be successful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Dak is not going to be that pocket, quarterback that's going to sit there and get you 300 yards, 350, a game, and, hit guys, with laser shots here and there everywhere across the field. He's a guy that, he needs a running game behind him so that he can, be able to sit back, do the play action, get that long ball out there, and, be effective for that team. But this will be a great move for the Cowboys.
Here's what both of y'all are missing, and you just hinted at it. Dak needs a running game, and the offense needs a running game. And if you watch that game yesterday, they need someone to stretch the field to get those safeties out of the box. Ezekiel Elliott was very ineffective yesterday. One of them, the Redskins bottled him up rather easily, and I think that's what this move is as much about, providing Dak some help, but also providing Zeke some help with a guy that can get those safeties out of the box.
Yeah, same thing happened in New England with Josh Gordon and him just getting on the field. All of a sudden, you see him 4 consecutive games, 38-plus points. Why? Even if Josh Gordon's not going off, it's just the threat, just the fact that now he affects what you think is coming from the offense. So I think he can have that same effect here, but I'm more with Tony. Like, the exposure of Dak Prescott may occur because of this move. That may be the unintended consequence, but
why couldn't it be the blossoming or the re-blossoming?
It could be. That's why I use the word could. But the thing is, Dak Prescott, 39 games. We saw 3 games over 300 yards, and we saw 16 under 200. Hey, that's not so good. And now you're going to have a guy who's going to sit there and expose either A, you can't give me the ball, or B, even with me here, we're not good enough. Who's that going to fall
I'm going to look on the more positive side, and I mean, you guys are all highly experienced NFL players, but Dak Prescott's in his 3rd year. This is the year when he's supposed to reveal himself, and they took all the tools away from him, and Jason Witten, Dez Bryant. Now they just gave him one back, and regardless of whether Amari Cooper is a superstar coming in or a true number 1, just the threat of him and what he's done in the past should help Dak out.
Yeah, like I said, I feel exactly the same way, but It comes down to, I believe you have to get that run game going for him to be effective. He's not a guy that's going to just sit in the pocket and kill you. You know what I'm saying?
The great thing about this trade is that we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
Because he's got no excuse. And they need to find out. They actually, the more I think about it, they needed to make this trade because Dak's coming up on that contract, okay? Am I really going to put $30 million in this man's pocket and he can't throw for over 250 yards in a league where you're supposed to throw over 250 yards? That's the benchmark as a quarterback. You have no excuse now. You have no excuse now. I think it's a great move by the organization. Let's see who you really are now, Dak, because now we've given you some tools.
Man, y'all talking a lot about Dak, but there's another guy that I think gets a lot of pressure now, and it's Jason Garrett. And so, to me, if you watch that game yesterday, that was a coaching disaster by Jason Garrett. And, you know, look, I know the penalty they called on the long snapper or the field goal snapper, that's what everybody's talking about. But to me, the way Jason